Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate Mercy. I would love it if before we get going, you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel, please. Today we are going to get into makeup that I have a hard time getting rid of because it's nostalgic, because it takes me back to a different day, different time, and it makes me feel good. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first item that we're going to talk about today is this Bad Mama Jamma. It is the Morphe 3502 palette. I never had the original, but I did get this when it launched. And when this launched, I think it was 2016, for me, this was my first totally warm tone palette, and it was also when Morphe had reformulated their shadows, and I loved this. As you can see, like, it's been a very well loved palette. I have these tones over and over again in formulas that are more innovative and that I prefer, but this just brings me back to 2016 when I was restarting my life and reclaiming my freedom and trying to find myself again, and warm tone shadows, I love them. So I don't need this palette anymore, and I hate how large this palette is. The packaging is terrible, but I have a special connection to it. So the next item that I refuse to get rid of because I love it and it's so nostalgic for me is another eyeshadow palette, and it is the Sweet Peach by Too Faced palette. So I didn't get this when it initially launched, and I remember this so vividly, and I was so upset because I was like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty, and then everybody was talking about it and it was sold out, and they ended up bringing it back, and when they brought it back, I went ahead and got it. Mine, you can see, is like super crusty, super dusty, super well loved. This has just been such a pretty palette, and it's worked. The formula is good, the consistency is good. I can always make really pretty eye looks with this. So I think that eventually in the near future, unfortunately, I am going to have to declutter this, but I will probably repurchase a new one. I feel bad getting rid of this one because I just remember how badly I wanted this and how happy I was to finally have it. I think this was my first ever Too Faced palette as well, and I was just really happy about it. This next one is actually a brand and beauty vlogger collaboration, and it was the Artist Couture Jackie Aina collaboration, and this is LeBron's. So if you don't know me, I love Jackie Aina. So anytime she's collabed, I've jumped right on it, even when it's very clearly not exactly made for my skin tone. This is one of those products that's not exactly meant for my skin tone. I can try to pull it off in August and September, but it's for the chocolate honeys of the world, and I'm not one of them. But I did end up getting La Peach. It's actually in my everyday makeup drawer right now. I'm having a hard time with that one because I love it so much, but it's not available anymore. But I digress. I just remember I was on vacation in Mexico when these launched, and I remember I had to wake up at some odd time. It was like a weird timing, but I had to be on time because there was a bundle with LeBron's, La Peach, and then a makeup bag. I have the makeup bag over here. But it just it brings me back to that time and how excited I was to get this. So this is one of those things. It doesn't work out for me as far as tone, but I love it so much, and I love Jackie. So the next item is also a brand and beauty vlogger collab. I actually got the entire collection, and that is the Too Faced and Candy Johnson collection. I remember when this launched, and I was like, I don't need that palette. I already have those colors. And then I went to my local Ulta, and I swatched the palette, and I fell in love. And even more so, I swatched this. This, if you don't know, is from the I Want Candy collection, and it's her Candy Glow Luminizer. And I still love this. It's probably ready to expire any day now, but it's just really, really pretty. So, and still, it smells so good. Everything in that collection smelled so good. It was so cute. It was so thoughtful. It made me so happy. So when I swatched the palette, and I was like, I am getting everything, and I ended up getting the entire collection. But this is still holding on because I just think it's so pretty. The next products are actually a lip product. They are the Alice in Wonderland lipsticks by Urban Decay. I remember when this collection came out, I was so excited about it and so inspired by it. And by the time I was able to get to Sephora to try to pick it up, the palette was gone and most of the things were gone, but I was able to get these two lipsticks. So I have these, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume they're no longer available, but I have Erisabeth and Alice. Again, speaking of things that are on the verge of expiring, and I have other products that are similar that I could just use, but that it just brings me back to that time. So these are what these look like. I still have quite a bit left, and they, again, are probably going to expire any day now. But I remember being so excited about that launch, and at the time that it launched, I felt like it was so innovative and creative, and I love Alice in Wonderland. I still really like the packaging on these. These are really cute, but I have a really hard time parting with these because I loved them when they launched. This next product, I think I need to declutter pretty severely, but I don't want to because it's nostalgic for me. And it's actually the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. I remember the internet went bananas for this, and I was super excited because it was like one of the first bronzers that I had seen that didn't look super warm tone, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm jazzed about that. So you can see I have a pretty hearty sized pan on this. The only snafu that I'm currently facing is getting a little hard pan in here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's getting a little hard pan. So it definitely is like coming to the near of its life. It no longer smells like coconuts. Yeah, it's coming to the near of its life, but I just remember like all the rage, and I got this on the Marc Jacobs website because it was sold out at Sephora, and it was like one of the first bronzers that wasn't orange on my skin tone. And I was just really, really excited to have been able to get this. So I'm having a really hard time with the idea of letting this go. This next one came at kind of a weird time when the Stila eye glitters, like the liquid shadow glitters, became really popular. I got this by Cover FX in a BoxyCharm, and at that time I could not afford the Stila glitters, so I was super excited to have received this in my BoxyCharm. This is the Cover FX Shimmer Veil in the shade Amethyst, and it's super pretty. It's also coming to the end of its life, but I just remember I had created this purple look with my Joseph colors. It's like the little palettes. I think it's something with mauve. And I put this all over the lid, and I was just like, for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I do know how to do makeup. Like, and I felt really good about myself that day, and I really loved the eye look that I created. So this always brings me back to that day and that makeup look that I created, that like for the first time, I felt like really confident about being able to do makeup. So I'm having a really hard time parting with this. It's still not dried up or anything, so I'm gonna keep holding on to it. But again, like, there's other products that work just as well and that have similar tones in my collection, but I hold on to this one because it always brings me back to that day. The last product that I have for my nostalgic makeup tag is a very controversial brand, so I apologize. This is years old at this point, but it does hold a special place in my heart, so I've held on to it all these years, and this is the Jeffree Star Liquid Lipstick in the shade Watermelon Soda. The irony of it all is that this formula is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. The reason, though, that I hold on to it is because despite the fact that Jeffree as a person has not been a great person, I have followed him since MySpace days. And so when I saw that he like had his own makeup brand, I was like, oh my gosh, and like just him was nostalgic for me. So I went ahead and picked up the whole collection of the yellow caps. The whole collection was like not good. Like the formula was terrible. I remember I wore one of the liquid lipsticks to work, and my friend was like, that's terrible. What is that? I was like, it's Jeffree Star. She's like, don't ever buy that again. Foreshadowing. But this, I remember it's kind of stinks now because it's super expired, but it was supposed to smell like watermelons. This is so outdated. I would not put this on my lips these days. Even back then, I would barely put it on my lips, but it just brings me back to like 2005. So I don't know. I just keep it, and I keep it in like a junk drawer because, again, it's not for makeup purposes at this point. It just like brings me back to that time. That is it for today's video. I had fun doing this. This all started because I went to go start to film a declutter video, and I was struggling because I was like, oh, but that's nostalgic, but I have this memory, and I just thought it would be kind of a cool idea to put out products that I struggle to let go of because of nostalgia. So I'm curious to see what other products people hold on to if for no other reason than it's nostalgic for them and it brings them back to a time and a place in their life. So I would love to see other people do this. I would love it if you would tag me so that I can watch your videos because I love to see what other people like attach memories to. You know what I mean? I digress. I'm a sap, I guess. So thank you guys so much for being here. It would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe down below and hit the like button if you liked today's video. Again, I thank you so much for being here. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.